Welcome back to another Over and Buried podcast. We got some Elimination Chamber predictions to get to today, but first order of business, we have to take a moment to acknowledge our United States women's and men's hockey teams, both winning gold in this year's Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games in Italy. From the men's side, Team USA ended a 46-year drought, capturing the gold medal. This is their first gold medal since the 1980 Olympics that took place in Lake Placid, New York, most notably famous for the miracle on ice when the US took down the Soviet Union. The perfect stage was set here when we had Team Canada versus Team USA. This game was absolutely cinematic, an intense one-on-one, low-scoring battle that went into overtime. I don't think there could have been a better WWE scriptwriter to set up this stage for the gold medal. Leading the team into overtime was on the back of goalie Connor Hellebuck, who on the night made 41 of 42 saves. In the overtime period, now the sudden death 3-on-3 contest ended as 24-year-old Jack Hughes netted the golden goal. Congratulations to all of Team USA on finishing second in the overall medal count with 33, 12 of which being gold medals. And who else won a gold medal, you say? With a broken freaking neck? But anyways, had to shout out the Olympic team representing the nation. And with Elimination Chamber coming this Saturday, February 28th, 2026, at the United Center from Chicago, Illinois, I had to rep the Hawks sweater here. Even though I'm a Penguins fan, I do hope I'm making CM Punk proud. Elimination Chamber marks the first WWE PLE at this venue in over 30 years. And this is the final major stop on the road to WrestleMania 42, the PLE featuring both men's and women's Elimination Chamber matches to determine World Championship contenders in the April Showcase of the Immortals. First up, we have the Second City Saint CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Do we get Demon Finn Balor in this match? I say it's too soon. I did see a post someone put out about Demon Finn Balor last week versus CM Punk, but Roman has already chosen Punk to main event WrestleMania 42. And Punk, 99% sure, is the one coming out of the Elimination Chamber PLE with victory. So to have a Demon Finn Balor character lose yet again is just diminishing the credibility of his demon persona. From when we've last seen the demon character in most recent past, he lost at WrestleMania 39 to Edge, and also before that, lost the world title shot against Roman Reigns when the top turnbuckle broke and the ropes collapsed before Finn Balor could hit the coup de grace and get the win. Think of Finn Balor's demon character as like what a closing pitcher is to baseball. It's the ninth inning, and Mariano Rivera is running out from the bullpen to the mound while Enter Sandman is playing throughout Yankee Stadium. You on the opposing team know that your win probability is decreased to near zero at that point in time. It's the same thing here with Finn's character. When the demon comes out to the ring, you know it should be a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Finn getting the victory. The moment you start blowing saves or losing all of these matches, all of your credibility is thrown out the window. I think we get Finn telling both Dom and JD to stay in the back and that he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship on his own. He is the first Universal Champion, as we know. He's won championships all over the globe. He wants to prove that he is the best in the world by defeating CM Punk alone in the ring. But I don't believe Dom and JD will comply with his wishes. Maybe they both try to get up into the ring, JD onto the apron. Then Dom slides in with his Intercontinental Championship. And while the ref's distracted, maybe Dom goes to attempt to hit CM Punk with the Intercontinental Championship. But instead, Punk moves out of the way and Dom accidentally hits Finn in the face, and that assists CM Punk to secure the victory and retain his championship. The dam is about to break with the Judgment Day, and ultimately, I think the outcome of this match leads to the Dom versus Finn Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania 42. So this would be a perfect segue into that match, and also to have the demon persona come out for Finn at WrestleMania. Now, I have seen some speculation that this match between Punk and Finn won't be the final chapter in their feud, and Finn could possibly be added to the main event to make this a triple threat match with Roman Reigns. Although every so many years we do, love a good underdog story coming out victorious, i.e., Daniel Bryan. I think adding Finn to this match kind of dilutes the big match feel that it has between Roman and Punk, especially with the back and forth promo between the two of them that we saw on Monday Night Raw, where Roman explained the reason that he picked Punk is because he hates him. We have a history there. Just last year, they were involved in the triple threat match at night one of WrestleMania 41. That really stole the show, especially with Heyman's turn and aligning with Seth. And before that, we had the two of them involved with War Games, where there were high tensions flaring there as well. So I say we leave them alone and have them steal the show at WrestleMania. I don't think we need to add Finn to that spot. But yeah, at the end of the day, prediction is CM Punk picks up the win. He's got the home field advantage, and he's not going to lose in Chicago, that's for sure. Moving on to the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, we have champion Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Becky just won the title back from Maxine Dupree just a few short weeks ago. To have the Intercontinental Championship change hands every couple of weeks, it will make it feel like the 24/7 championship, in my opinion, and tarnish the legacy that the Intercontinental Championship has had over several decades in WWE. I do think the fans are still behind AJ Lee, but the momentum has severely slowed down, in my opinion, almost to a standstill, simply because AJ Lee just hasn't been there on WWE programming regularly. Once she returned, there was a lot of buzz there, but we haven't really seen her since. It's not always beneficial just have someone show up and when they do to immediately challenge for a title. And plus, didn't AJ Lee say in her return recently that she's just here to help out her friend Maxine? I would love to see a triple threat at Mania between Becky, Natty, and Maxine, but I don't think we do get that. I think we are ultimately getting another installment of Becky versus AJ again at WrestleMania 42. But right now, I have to give the victory to Becky to retain, despite AJ Lee being in her own backyard as well. What or who could possibly be in this box? The box arrives on Raw. Pierce sends it to SmackDown. The box arrives on SmackDown. Aldis sends it back to Raw. We're going to do this back and forth now this week leading up to Elimination Chamber. And do we know how much that shipping rate costs these days? Many predict Chris Jericho to be the odds-on favorite to come back to WWE and be the one revealed inside the box. So why are many people predicting it to be Jericho? Chris Jericho made his WWE, then WWF, debut on August 9th, 1999, on an episode of Raw is War in Chicago, Illinois. After several weeks of the countdown clock, Jericho interrupted a promo by The Rock, debuting as the Y2J character, as we all know and love today. It was originally reported that Jericho's contract ran out at the end of 2025. If that were the case, I had anticipated him to be back in WWE at the Royal Rumble, but Jericho is still one of the odds-on favorites to be the one revealed in the box. I'm also seeing Danhausen could be the one coming out of the box, which wouldn't really pop me all that much. Plus, I don't think much of the WWE audience actually knows who Danhausen is. I've seen perhaps it's just some promotional gig for WWE 2K26 that I believe comes out on March the 6th. I am also seeing maybe it's Cody Rhodes' soul or the footage that shows the tail of the tape that Cody was the one behind the beatdown on Jacob Fatu. I'm seeing fans go as far as even predicting Vince McMahon being the one revealed in the box. Really, guys? I think it could be Jericho, but I also do think it could be Bianca Belair. I do think that she's swerving all of us that she had just gone into surgery on her finger 1 to 2 weeks ago. She sustained the injury during, I think, last year's WrestleMania during her triple threat match with Rhea and Io. So that is a wait of almost an entire year for a surgery. I can't imagine that, but I am no doctor. I think she already had the surgery. Think of a pro athlete. If they got injured right away, there are specialist doctors that they send them to repair and recover the injury at hand. She made her appearance at Evolution as a special guest referee in the match between Jade Cargill and Naomi at the time. Somehow, Bianca can force her way into the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Perhaps even Io goes on to win the women's qualifier match, and she comes out to be injured and needs a replacement. And we could throw in Bianca there. Surprise, have that element of surprise still. Which woman will secure the final spot for a world title match at WrestleMania 42? Next on the card, we have the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Although we have the final quarterfinal match between Big Mommy Cool Raquel, Io, and Kyrie Sane, I think it's either Rhea or Tiffany that comes out of the chamber victorious. I saw a video recently that showed the last several years we had SmackDown shows starting out like this, and it was Roman and the Bloodline coming out just dripping in aura. The video then goes on and shows the start of a SmackDown to Tiffany's song. So, yes, I saw that video and thought, wow, maybe Tiffany won't be able to draw an audience if she were to win the Elimination Chamber match. And a number of us were not fully pleased with the match that Tiffany had with Charlotte last year at WrestleMania. And I'm pretty sure we did already get a Jade versus Tiffany match. So I don't think they'll run that back. Although I want Rhea and Io to stay away from the main event scene for a longer period of time and defend the tag team titles at WrestleMania, I see Rhea potentially winning here. But yeah, if it does end up being Bianca Belair that somehow returns, gets into the chamber, I would be all for that to see her face Jade at WrestleMania. And the final Elimination Chamber match for the men. The men's field is currently sitting at Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, LA Knight, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and a final spot to be determined on Monday Night Raw in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Bronson Reed, Jey Uso, and the original El Grande Americano. As much as I would want Bronson Reed to win and have some sort of representation of what's left of the Vision, I do think the Masked Man will be involved in this match at one point or another to foil Bronson Reed from getting a victory here. Actually, multiple masked men could interfere with this match. We have Ludwig, or I mean, the other El Grande Americano, that hopefully sets up the mask versus mask match at WrestleMania between the two of them. See who is the original El Grande Americano. Then, if Bronson Reed loses, perhaps he, in theory, plead their case to Pierce that if the masked man never showed up, he would have beaten Jey Uso. And to settle this, maybe Pierce would book a World Tag Team Championship match between the Vision and the Usos at WrestleMania. I almost wish WWE would have booked Drew McIntyre to defend his WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber ahead of WrestleMania, seeing as he's basically feuding with much of the entire SmackDown roster, right? He's feuding with Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn. He's had some choice words in a confrontation with Trick Williams. Just this past Friday night on SmackDown, he did attack Randy Orton as well. But when it comes to the competitors on the card, I think Javon Evans and Trick Williams both absolutely shine in this match. But let's face the facts here, right? Neither of them will be the best possible match for Drew at WrestleMania. And it wouldn't be as much of a draw, right, at this point in time. Sammy, I just don't see this happening, even though Drew McIntyre 2 weeks ago on SmackDown mentioned to him backstage before his qualifier match that Sammy is going to be winning the big one. I just don't know what we do with the Sammy character at this point in time other than turning him heel, since he's been in WWE for however many years and still doesn't have a world title under his belt or to his name. So that leaves us with three possibilities: LA Knight, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. LA Knight is another guy I don't know what WWE is going to do with. My bold prediction for LA Knight this year was in 2026 that honestly they would send him down to NXT, possibly win the NXT championship and build up the future stars in WWE with various programs there. He's been buried over and over, time and time again by WWE. It would be great to have him win the chamber, go on and defeat Drew to capture his first world title. But again, biggest show of the year. I am not sure that is the money match, right? So that leaves us Randy or Cody. Mentor versus mentee. Mentee returns to WWE to become a top star and on the same tier as his mentor. Randy has been eyeing the undisputed WWE Championship on multiple occasions when Cody held the title. It seemed like a pressure cooker, and it would be Randy to turn heel on Cody Rhodes. But at this juncture, is it too predictable that Randy would be the one to turn heel on Cody? But if we keep it simple, knowing something is coming, but not knowing when, is still the gotcha moment that WWE could get if we go the route of Randy Orton turning heel. We know at times WWE likes to recycle some past booking, so what if we run it back like last year's Elimination Chamber? And much like the shock and awe of John Cena's heel turn, why not have Cody Rhodes turn heel in the chamber as well? Perhaps Cody punt kicks Randy Orton himself to go full-blown Homelander Cody. That way he can justify his actions by simply just saying he learned from the best in Randy and did what he had to do in order to win. I do think it's only a matter of time until we find out that Cody was actually the one behind the attack on Jacob Fatu. Here's a guy who feuded with Roman Reigns for 2 years, and now we have this juggernaut from the Samoan bloodline coming into the WWE with very high expectations set that he's going to be a top star and a future champion in WWE. Cody could see that as very intimidating. He's had to fight up his whole career, and now that he's a top guy, the captain of WWE, the QB1, it's lonely at the top, and everyone wants your spot, right? Perhaps Drew McIntyre somehow gets involved in the chamber and causes some havoc. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, I do feel as though it's going to be Cody Rhodes coming out of the chamber victorious. From the beginning, though, I didn't see the WrestleMania match as Cody versus Drew straight up. I thought Jacob Fatu was a shoo-in for this as well. But now we have to add Randy Orton at least too, right? Maybe a fatal four-way match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Now that is something we'd pay to see, right? So there you have it. I have CM Punk retaining against Finn Balor. I do have Becky retaining against AJ Lee. What or who is in the box? I'm going to predict that it is Bianca Belair that returns to then go on and win the Elimination Chamber. Then for the men's Elimination Chamber match, have Cody Rhodes coming out victorious. But it is going to propel the storyline between he, Drew, the other competitors within the chamber, as well as other guys on SmackDown like Jacob Fatu. Let me know what you guys think. Who or what is inside this box? As always, we appreciate your support by liking and subscribing to the channel, so do me a favor and hit that icon below. Thank you for the house, and we'll see you in the next one. There's no middle ground. Go over or get buried. 6 feet, feet down. Red